So I think the biggest problem with the concept of going outside, touch grass, and things like that is that I don't think people are as social as they used to be. I think ever since the lockdown, pandemic, whatever you want to call it, people don't really want to kind of communicate with others. And I think that this has kind of caused like a social awkwardness to some extent, a social kind of issue, because nobody seems to want to talk to other people. I'm not saying that that has happened in my case. Obviously, it's fine for people to be to themselves and stuff like that, but like you go outside and there's people seem to be way less social than like ever before. And it made me wonder, why is that the case now? And then it got me thinking, is this because lockdown and all that stuff made us isolate for so long that we kind of got used to it, and also kind of got used to the comfort of sort of, I guess, being alone? Because once you get used to that, it's going to obviously be a lot harder to sort of kind of go outside and just make things normal again, right? Because a lot of people have never really experienced that kind of isolation in their lives before, so now they're comfortable with it. And as I said in like previous videos, sometimes that kind of sense of comfort and not having to talk to other people and social awkwardness can become very comforting because you're so used to it, and it's like you don't have to try, you don't have all these barriers to talking to people, potentially experiencing rejection or being able to, like I said, like if it's awkward or if it feels like it's cringe. So now people have kind of lost that sort of ability to connect with other humans like that. And I think that's another reason why a lot more people feel more lonely than ever before as well, because they just don't seem to kind of push themselves a little bit to sort of be more social. It's not entirely a problem, you know, you can be to yourself, completely get that. But I think experiencing both sides of that coin is a very important skill to have, because it's like being able to sort of communicate and talk to even just a random ass person. Like it's cool because like they have their own story in life, they're experiencing things, you're experiencing things. It's like, yo, it's pretty cool to communicate with each other, right? And it's cool because it's like it expands your horizons. But like I said before, sometimes it's so easy to get chained by basic things like comfort and just being to yourself. But a lot of times most of your memories are going to be made with going outside and talking to people. No, it's not cringe at all, because pretty much most people you see in public, you're probably going to remember their face for like 10 minutes, and then afterwards you're going to just completely forget about them and just go about your day. And it's the same for those people too. Like even just going and just cracking out a random joke, or just finding like a similar interest that you guys are, like say, I don't know, if you're at the park or something like that, you see someone, they're just admiring the nature, you'd be like, oh, looks really nice, doesn't it? That's not cringe. You might think of a billion different kind of results that may come from saying something like that, but it's not. Who knows? You might have just brightened up their day by talking to them. Maybe they needed to talk to someone. You know, people don't really think about like the positive kind of outcomes that can come from talking to people, but always the negative ones. And I don't think that's a very good mindset to have completely. And I'm not trying to say be that one annoying person that just doesn't stop talking to people, because listen, yeah, those people as well, they're like on the complete other side of like the pond, man. Like they can just talk for hours and hours on end. What I'm trying to say in this video is basically just about how hard I guess it is for people to kind of bring that back. And people seem to romanticize like the 2000s and stuff like that, where people were more social and stuff like that, which I agree, they probably were. Obviously, I wasn't an adult at that point, so I wouldn't completely get it. But I think just because people have become so busy and so distracted with their lives all the time, especially with like, oh, just crashed. People become so distracted and things like that with their life that they haven't got time to talk, and they're so like in their head all the time as well, that they just won't do stuff because they're so busy. And then when they're relaxing in their downtime or whatever, sometimes they can be doom scrolling and stuff like that. It's like there's so much like around us in our heads that we don't have the time to really just appreciate even just a random ass person in public, or a simple conversation. And these conversations can be very, very important in your life. Like you can gain new perspectives, you can just learn new things. You can, it's pretty cool, man. I definitely recommend it. But like I said, as a society, I think we got to kind of improve that sort of social awkwardness, social battery, because like I said before, we kind of are human, you know. We crave that kind of sense to belong in a society with other humans. So too much of that kind of isolation period is like a bad thing. And you saw that because a lot of like people started to get depressed and started to think about a billion different thoughts whilst they were by themselves and stuff like that. And sometimes it can drive you a little bit crazy. It isn't exactly a great thing. So now it's like, how do we really solve this problem? Because a lot of the youth are like glued to their phones. A lot of, not even just the youth, I don't even know why I said that. A lot of just people in general are just glued to their phones in public. And it can be quite deteriorating. And because obviously things like phones are such a we're still pretty early into the age of mobile devices, right? Like it's only been like what, 20 years? Or like the smartphone, how long has that been? Probably like 15 years, 10 years maybe. We haven't seen any long-term effects of what this could cause. So yeah, it's hard. But I'm also here to say, don't give up hope, even though a lot of the world are going to be like that, because there definitely are people who are open to have a conversation. But because you've just limited your mind to like so many different kind of outcomes of the situation, it's like, wow. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the thing like, oh, like how men never get compliments, right? And if they do, they're going to remember it for the rest of their life. It's like I don't even know. It's like a, not a fact, but it's like something that just got popular. So it's like, even if you just give someone like a little compliment, that can go a long way.
Yeah, I believe that.
But I completely get it. It is sometimes hard to touch grass and, you know, go outside and do cool stuff when it doesn't really seem like many people are really optimizing to kind of go and do those kind of things. She's kind of sad in a sense, because it's like previously all the other generations, they were always outside, and now because of us and the development of technology and stuff like that, that's also another reason why we used to kind of stay inside. So ultimately though, I definitely think it is a good thing in some way, because we wouldn't have it if it wasn't. So it's just that because we're so new to this stuff, we haven't exactly found a complete balance for that. And I think at some point in the future, we eventually will. That's why like things like mental health, like awareness on it is like on the rise and stuff like that. So definitely in like more progressive times, I'd say. Who knows, man?
I think all lens, and that thing, that public.
Also, if you've made it this far to the video, I appreciate you guys. And if you know any other games like Nightrunners that are out there, drop it down in the comments, because I actually love this game. And I want to test out different racing games, because I know there's a lot of talented developers out there who don't get much shine because of like these big corporate companies. So I want to test out their games, give them feedback, and you know, have a good time playing the game. I think I'm going to end that video on that note. Appreciate you guys for watching. Have a great day.